let me introduce everyone to the wonderful world for our lead topic this week of DINKs. Do you know what a DINK is? It's not a kink
Dual
thing.
income, no kids.
Dual income, no kids. Yep. Yes. Which, okay, I want to preface this. How do I put this? There are DINKs and there are DINKs. There are people that don't have kids, they're a married couple or they're dating and live together. And maybe they plan to have kids. Maybe they don't. But what they don't feel the need to do is post videos like this. Now, I had that video where I caught a lot of flack that I felt I didn't deserve. Remember the Shakshuka girl? I caught a lot of flack for that because I said I didn't think this girl was being... I didn't think she was attacking families. I didn't think she was being critical or trying to spit in the faces of people that had kids and shit all over the family unit. I didn't think she was doing that. And I caught a lot of flack for that. People called me woke. They called me a fake conservative. I mean, just all the normal bullshit. The second I dare stray from the narrative, it's the bullshit I get because I had a different opinion. God forbid you don't listen to the same conservative talk show that spit out the same 7 points that have just been recycled. I was easy on her. This girl was not like these people. These people, there's a movement going on called anti-natalism, and of course it's based in Reddit, and we'll pull that up in a little bit here, where they're just against children. Now, I'm going to show you guys a couple videos of the DINKs, and we're gonna do some reaction to it. But before I get into that, I want to say, I am sure there are people out there that don't have children and don't intend to have children, and are very happy. And I'm happy for you. If that's the lifestyle you want to live, I don't care. I don't care. But I will tell you right now, absolutely none of them feel the need to make the types of videos and share them online like you're about to see here. Go ahead, play the first one.
We're DINKs. We're going to get asked daily when we plan on having kids.
We're DINKs. Of course we're going to go out
cheating
to eat
on
every
him,
night
for
after
sure.
work.
We're DINKs. We don't have to ask our family for financial help or to watch our kid when we want to go out.
We're DINKs. We're going to go to Costco and buy all the snacks in bulk that we want.
We're DINKs. We have disposable income to spend on whatever we would like and don't have to spend on a kid.
We're DINKs. I'm going to go to every football game and play 18 holes whenever I want.
We're DINKs. We're going to get asked to every single family event what we're doing with our life.
You could do all of those things with children. You can do all of those things without posting videos bragging about it. Here's my thing. People who are confident and secure in the choices they've made in life don't feel the need to publicly justify their lifestyle to strangers the way you're seeing with these videos. Here's another one. Go ahead, play it for them.
We're DINKs. We go to Trader Joe's and workout classes on the weekends.
We're DINKs. We get into snobby hobbies like skiing and golfing.
We're DINKs.
I hope
We
you
can go
break
to
your
Florida on a whim.
We're DINKs. We're already planning our European vacation next year.
DINKs. We get a full 8 hours of sleep and sometimes more.
We're DINKs. We get desserts and appetizers at restaurants.
We're DINKs. We can play with other kids and give them back.
We're DINKs. We still do it 3 times a week.
We're DINKs. We spend our discretionary income on $8 lattes.
We're DINKs. We max out our 401ks, Roth IRAs, and HSAs.
We're DINKs. We don't use our kids or dog as an excuse to leave a party. We just leave.
Who still goes to parties? Do you know anyone who still goes to parties? We're adults. Do we have parties? I thought that died in, like, college. Do we have parties, Mia? Who has parties? We have functions. Everyone leaves by 10 because we're too old because our bodies are shutting down, with or without kids.
I mean, I don't think we call them parties.
We just say, hey, we're all going over to so-and-so's
Yeah.
house. I'm probably going to pass out drunk. She'll leave at 9:30. I'll hang out later, and then I'll catch an Uber or have Justin Healy take me home, even though he's probably drunker than I am. That's a party, I guess. Okay. I'm going to reiterate what I said. I want kids someday. But I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think people need them to be happy. I don't. But if you're not going to have them, I think you got to have a higher purpose. A higher purpose, be like trying to start your own company, making music, movies, travel in the world, whatever, right? By all means, do it. Now, what these people are talking about is not a higher purpose. It's just not. I know I sound judgmental. That's 95% of the show is me being judgmental about things that don't affect me. Can we agree on that? You say, Caleb, it doesn't affect you. Yeah, you know what? Neither does a guy passing out high on heroin at a playground, but I'm still going to shit on him, okay? Not literally, we're not in San Francisco. Okay? These people, it's not a higher purpose. All of these things are fine. ordering appetizers at restaurants. I mean, you can do all of these things. Yoga class. I mean, who wakes up at 8 a.m. on a Saturday to go to yoga classes? I don't have kids, and that sounds like hell to me. Truly. All of these things are fine. But you do that as a compliment to whatever it is to whatever your higher purpose is. And none of them, objectively speaking, this is me being judgmental, none of them, Costco snacks, not desserts at restaurants, not $8 lattes, not yoga class, not leaving a party without using an how much of a pussy are you? Just leave who cares? Right? Not leaving a party without an excuse. None of these are rationale to base a major lifestyle choice off of. Well, any lifestyle choice. I mean, say you're miserable at your job. Forget the kid thing. Say you're miserable at your job. You don't go, hey, I have an offer, but it's going to pay me about $5,000 to $10,000 less. I think I'm going to stay in the job I hate my life at and want to blow my brains out every morning when I wake up, so I can still afford to get a dessert when I go out to Cheddar's on Wednesdays. No one's doing that. If you are doing that, that's a sad excuse. Sad excuse for life. No one's saying, I'd really like to move out of this one-bedroom apartment and buy a house someday, but I don't think I'm going to do that, because if I got a mortgage, then I wouldn't be able to go then I wouldn't be able to go to Trader Joe's. I'd have to shop at Walmart. No one's saying that. And anyone that is basing major decisions off that is just not a serious or mature person. That's all there is to it. There's one more I want to play, and this one's the worst of the three. Go ahead, play this slob for us.
Things I did today because my partner and I decided not to have kids. Number one, played video games for about 12 hours. The only interruption I had was when my partner came in to ask me if I stole the weed. I did. Number two, watched a movie from start to finish. That was a really exhilarating time. And the bonus point is the fact that it was a movie of our choosing, not a movie we've watched 1,000 times because it shut up the hellspawn. And
First off, you can watch a movie with kids the entire way through. It's called duct tape. Have these people never heard of this? Have they never heard? It's called duct tape and physical abuse. You can watch a movie all the way through. Again, video games, watching movies. Actually, no. With or without kids, if you play video games for 12 hours straight, you're a fucking loser. I'm sorry. Unless that's your job, you're a fucking loser. That's all there is to it. Video games, smoking weed, watching movies. All of those, fine things to do. Fine. I'm not a weed guy. Go off. I don't care if you smoke weed on the weekends. It's none of my business. I'm drinking bourbon right now. That'd be stupid if I had a problem with you smoking weed. Again, I wouldn't have my normal weed money. My budget for my J's would be cut. If I did X, Y, or Z, so I can't do that. Not only are you an immature person, you're probably also a drug addict. If your ability to consume weed at your current rate plays into any life decision you make, you are a drug addict. Yes, you can be addicted to weed. Yes, you can be addicted to weed. Absolutely you can. I remember people saying, well, I can't apply. Like in high school, I'd have friends say, well, I can't apply for this job because they drug test and I'd have to stop smoking weed for 30 days. Like, oh no, not a month. Oh my God, what are you going to do? 30 Are you sure? Dude, you might go into withdrawals and die. 30 days? Oh my God. Oh my God. Now you'll say, hey, Caleb, but you drink. Yeah, absolutely I drink. You know what, though? I do this thing called having a beer, which stoners are incapable of doing. I can have a beer, leave it, and not drink for the rest of the night. Stoners, on the other hand, every time they pick that shit up, they're doing it with the intention to get high. I'm going off on a sidetrack. This just annoys me. It's not the same to have a glass of wine with dinner and to get high in your garage every night and neglect your children and your responsibilities. It's not the same thing. It bothers me when people try to act like there's like weed is totally innocent. It's not. It's not. I used to smoke a lot of weed. Not once did I smoke it without the intent of getting high. But I can have a glass of wine, I can have a beer, walk away, be fine with it. No big deal. Doesn't matter to me. And that's the thing, is the average stoner can't stop smoking for 30 days to get a better paying job. If you told me, hey, don't drink alcohol for 30 days and I'll give you $100 gift card, I would do that in a heartbeat. Absolutely, especially in Joe Biden's America. I could almost get a gallon of gas for $100. That might heat my house for a day. Of course I'd take that in Joe Biden's America. So here's the thing. Lying around, smoking weed, playing video games for 12 hours a day like a slob, not a higher purpose. These are sad people. And this is where I draw the difference between them and the shakshuka girl. Is these aren't people that are saying, hey, I'm making the most of my situation. I'm not exactly thrilled with it. This is what it is. That's not them. That was the shakshuka girl. These are people that come off as arrogant at best and hateful at worst. I mean, hell spawn. Real hell spawn. Are you serious? But it's a weird thing, right? It's a weird thing because that's cringy. It's a horrible outlook to have in life. But at the same time, do we really want people like that last guy reproducing? You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Do we really want that last guy to reproduce and make more of him? No. God, no. He would be a horrible parent. His kids would be scumbags. There's some people that just shouldn't have kids, so I don't try too hard to convince those people to change their ways. I really don't. Because it wouldn't be a healthy environment for the kids to grow up in. And also, we're all better off if there's less of you. Period. Just like the guy who shot himself in the nuts. We're all better off if there's less people that think like you. And that's why I don't push as hard on the abortion issue that a lot of conservatives do. I don't. Because who's the majority of the people that are posting anti-family stuff like that? Who's the majority of the people that are getting abortions just because they don't want to have a kid? Leftists. They're a death cult. They're a death cult. Yes, they're annoying right now, but I'm telling you right now, this hard left Marxist ideology will die with these people because they have no one to pass it on to. And that's why it's so important. It's a big if, because we have to stop them from infiltrating the schools first. Otherwise, it's going to continue to spread. But that will die with these people if we take back the school system. So run for your local school board, because that guy is the one making the decisions right now. That guy. The problem, were you going to say something?
Oh, yeah, I was just going to say I actually saw a video like on the complete opposite end of the spectrum. Mm-hmm. And it was a mom. She was like, I'm a mom, blah, 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 like saying stuff. And
that's a mom who hates her life.
Well, no, she's like, I'm a mom. I take my kids to Target and I get snacks and open them up for them so that way they can walk around.
Oh, so she's making fun of them.
No, she's being serious. But I mean, she was saying.
Oh, she's talking about what a scumbag she is.
Yeah, and she's like, I'm a mom. I let my kids look under the stall and.
Look under the stall?
Yeah, when she takes them to the bathroom.
Why?
Because she can't control them. And she's like, I'm a mom. I get mad when my kids say hi to you and you don't say hi back.
Oh, so she steals snacks.
Yeah.
And okay, so she's a scumbag. Yeah, people that we don't want.
So it's just like
people
the
that we don't
complete
want. Yeah.
opposite end of the spectrum, like scumbag parents.
Oh, believe me, there are plenty of people that have children that should not. Believe me. Absolutely there are. I'm not going to sit up because I see conservative commentators that will sit up here and say that absolutely everybody should have kids. I will never advocate for that. I've never in a million years. In fact, I could 5 of my close friends that I don't think should ever have kids. Like, off the top of my head. I'm not going to mention their names because I think some of them might listen to this show. I would never in a million years suggest that the 12-hour video game guy that steals his wife's weed should have kids. Never. Never. I will also, and this gets controversial too, because I know a lot of other conservative commentators out there that operate in the same space I do like to come out and say you need to get married early and have kids early. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Wait to have kids until you're financially stable. Give them the best life possible. Don't get married to a girl you've known for a year and then pop out babies 9 months later. Don't do that either. I dare to have this thing called nuance when I talk about these sensitive issues. Absolutely. Marry your spouse, enjoy them for a year or two before you start popping out baby. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't let some influencer on Twitter that makes 6 figures a year to sit here and to talk into a microphone pressure you into having children that you can't afford to. I think it's stupid when people have kids they can't afford, just like I think it's stupid when people adopt a dog they can't afford. Don't take on responsibilities that you are not both mentally and financially ready to deal with. I don't think that's out of line. I know I see all the time on conservative Twitter space, and I'll see clips of it on podcasts. You should be popping out babies when you're 22 years old. That's when you're the most fertile. No, we have this thing called medicine. Relax. It's okay. It's going to be okay. You can have kids past 22. We don't live in caves anymore. It's not the Civil War era anymore, where if you have a kid at 30, it's pretty much a death sentence for the mother. Not a thing anymore. These things called hospitals now and sterilization. It's a crazy C-sections even. It's a crazy concept. You do not need to rush into having babies. You do not need to rush into marriage. I'm telling you right now, the person you have children with is probably the most important decision you'll ever make in your life. So take your time finding the person and then enjoy each other for a little bit. Because you have kids with somebody, unless you want to be a complete deadbeat scumbag, there ain't no way out. No way out. You can get divorced, but you're still going to deal with that person, at least for the next 18 years, and then functions where, your kid gets married, they go on and have kids of their own. You're always going to deal with that person. So be very, very careful who you choose to put your dick inside of. Without protection, be very careful. That's all I'll say. It's the single most important decision you can. You marry somebody you don't like, just divorce them. Who cares, right? Take a job you don't like, just quit. Buy a house, maybe it's a little too much house for you. There's some problems with it, sell it and move. Maybe you'll eat some losses, but it's not going to follow you for the rest of your life. That will. So on the flip side, while I'll shit on people like that, I also have no problem telling people, pump the brakes. It's okay. I'm not telling you not to do it. I'm not going to try to justify that weird lifestyle like those people. I'm not doing that. So it's okay to be 27 and not have children yet. I'm not going to judge you like a lot of people that do what I do will. Aren't I a nice guy, Mia? Aren't I a nice guy? What? Oh. Aren't I?
Yeah.
I mean, I am probably the least judgmental person on the air right now. I can't think of anyone more approachable and less judgmental than me that's running a show in 2023.
No one.
No one. I have got to be the most supportive, cheerful, welcoming guy on the air. Now, antinatalism is it's a movement that it takes it a step further than the DINKs. Antinatalism is a movement that actively hates both children and anybody with children, which I think is a weird thing to do. I think if you don't want to, like I said, man, if you don't want to have kids, I don't care, right? That's your own thing. But to actively hate people who choose to reproduce and their offspring is a really weird thing. So we've got a couple Reddit posts from them brought to us by our favorite Twitter account, other than Nick Adams, at Reddit_lies on Twitter or X. So here's you just search antinatalism on this Twitter account, and here's some of the things they find. Antinatalism. Redditors on antinatalism cheer as sperm counts plummet globally. Well, that's a real good thing to celebrate. That's a real good thing, because here's my thing. You may not want children. You may not want children. Unless you make cringy posts bragging about it and shaming other people for having them, I'm not going to judge you for that. But if you're going to cheer the fact that someone else can't have a kid, which may be life-ruining news to them, fuck you. Go kill yourself. Now, you guys will tell. Actually, no, they might do it too. Satire, comedy show. Remember. Here's another one. Here's a post. It's a screenshot of a post on another subreddit for people that... it's called Off My Chest, where people will go to vent about things anonymously. This woman says, just found out we can't have kids. After 2 years of trying to get pregnant, my husband had a semen analysis and it found out he has no sperm production. We feel like we have lost our identities and meaning in life. We wanted to be parents and make a baby together more than anything in life. We chose our home and location based on where to raise children, and now none of that will ever happen. And antinatalism says, acting like not being able to have kids is the end of the world. you can tell that these are people that don't interact with humans. The 95% of their interactions are done from a computer screen. Could you imagine saying that to somebody? I couldn't imagine saying that to somebody.
No, and they do it because it's easier to do it behind.
Because you're not going to get jacked in the face. Because I'm going to tell you, I don't believe in violence over words, but if we couldn't have kids and someone made a remark like that I'd probably punch him. I can't imagine. Here's another one. They had a Halloween contest at a hospital in the NICU. Did a Halloween contest for premature babies. That's right. Antinatalism found a way to shit on preemie babies. When people say I punch down because I call Joe Biden a retard, the president of the United States. But these same leftists that say my humor is punching down.
Wait, hold on 1 second. Did they do costumes for the babies?
Yeah. Doesn't it just make you want to have a preemie baby? That was a sick joke. That was a joke, though. So they said Halloween costumes for preemie babies. Does anyone else find this disturbing? Further proof that babies are just playthings. Oh, because how dare people who have a premature baby, that there's like a 50-50 fucking chance they're going to make it, try to have some type of positive attitude and find some type of silver lining in the situation. How dare they? Mind you, these are the people that want they want Dave Chappelle canceled. Dave Chappelle, almost as famous as me, canceled for making trans jokes. Here's another one. My grandparents are both Holocaust survivors, and I can't fathom reproducing after experiencing what they did. There you go. Holocaust survivors and premature babies. Way to speak truth to power. Wait. I'll tell you, those preemie babies and Holocaust survivors have had their feet on our throats for way too long in this country, and I'm glad somebody standing up for them, or standing up for us. It's about time. Every time I bring up how much I hate my life, so this is obviously a person that's sane, and they're coming from a very, very a very grounded position, very well based in reality. They've got a good grasp of everything. Every time I bring up how much I hate my life, my dad reminds me we should be thankful. After all, we shouldn't be here, or some platitude like that. Hearing about how much they suffered also really doesn't help my current suffering. So that's the average Redditor, someone who's mentally ill. If you start something off, call me crazy. Call me crazy. Maybe this is a reach on my end. But if you start your argument off with, and I quote, every time I bring up how much I hate my life, end quote, maybe the rest of us shouldn't listen to you on how the world should be run. Maybe that's a stretch. I don't know. I don't know. Oh my God. Here's another one. I cannot imagine having children. There were 3 days last week. I was too lazy to feed myself, and I was just cool with it. Again, healthy people. Healthy people that we should all absolutely let tell the rest of us how to run the world. Reddit's a cesspool. Have we gone over that? Mia, have we covered that on the show enough that Reddit should be nuked from orbit?
I want to say yes, but actually I don't think so.
No, I think we could go much further. We should do a special episode where we just do a deep dive into the worst parts of Reddit.
We used to read stories from Reddit.
But those were always kind of funny, though.
Yeah.
They weren't angry people like this, for the most part,
Yeah, because
right?
I found funny stories.
Yeah, they were funny. Now the show's too long to do that. Maybe we'll bring that back and do it on, like, Mondays or something. We can do that. I'd be fine with that.
I liked doing that.
If we bring back unsolicited advice and just do it like on Mondays, I would have no fun. It'd be like a 12-minute show. I'd have no problem doing that. So Reddit. Here's a fun fact about Reddit before I go into how I'm going to end this segment about antinatalism and the DINKs. Here's a fun fact about Reddit. Reddit has a subreddit, which is basically like websites within Reddit. What's it called? Let me Google it so I can get it right. Against hate subs is what it's called. And what they do is they will go after the other subreddits and try to get them taken down. Well, there was a whistleblower. Now, the leader of this subreddit, this against hate subreddits, is a transgender communist named the user Bardfin, who has been arrested for, when he was a man, beating his wife up, dangling their 14-month-old baby in front of her to terrorize her. Scumbag guy, right? Allegedly. Well, Bardfin would lead these people into battle to take down any quote-unquote hateful subreddit, which means anything to the right of Stalin in these people's eyes is hateful, fascist, whatever. They would try to take it down. And what they would do is they would join these subreddits and they would post racial slurs and stuff that would automatically get the whole page banned from Reddit. Stuff that they knew if your page, it's in the terms of service, if your page is harboring this stuff on Reddit, you're getting banned, right? So they would go do that. Well, the people on these subreddits figured out how to stop this and they prevented it from happening. So what they did next, like typical Redditors, and this is where the whistleblower came in on YouTube, talked about this a couple years ago. What these people did next was they started going to these subreddits and posting child porn to get it taken down. And I'm not talking, oh, she's 16 and sent a naked. No, children. Now, I don't know about you, Mia, but I don't know where to go to get child porn. I don't have it just sitting around to where I could just use it like that. I don't know where I mean, I guess if you pointed a gun at my head and said, go find it, I mean, if you gave me, I'm sure I just go on Reddit, obviously. But these people had it just sitting around to get to. So they could post it however they wanted. Now, leftists always say the ends justify the means, like when they burn a Starbucks to the ground to protest police brutality, because that makes sense. Were you going to say something? Oh, you should go ahead and say it. What were you going to say? No, say it. No, say no. Now it's gonna be awkward. Now you have to say it. What were you gonna say? What are you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say website, but I'm not gonna say it.
What website?
Just to be funny, but I'm not.
What website? Say it.
I'm gonna make up a website, but I was like, I probably shouldn't do that.
Oh no, yeah, because then you'd sound like the expert on it.
Yeah.
Somewhere some guy's listening to us going like, you can't find child porn on Google. What's the matter with you? You gotta go blah blah blah.
So I was gonna say a website, but then I was like, I'm not gonna do it because watch, it's gonna be like an actual website or something.
What was that on Shameless? Don't cut it off, or something like that.
Oh, yeah, something. Yeah, don't cut it off. Or, yeah.
Off.org or something like that. Yeah. No, somewhere someone's listening. These idiots don't know what they're talking about. They don't know anything about child porn. You're right. I don't know where to find it. You got me. But no, the fact that these people just had apparently probably terabytes of child porn sitting around to just post is hilarious. And also, again, these people don't value children. They don't value any of this stuff. When you share a pornographic picture of a young person, that person is a victim every time you do that. I shouldn't have to say that because their image of them, their innocence is being taken away by creeps online, and you're sharing that, and you're help perpetrating that. So I shouldn't even have to say this, but this is not a victimless crime to go share this stuff. You're directly taking away somebody's innocence by that. So these are scumbags. Reddit is a cesspool that should be blown off the face of the earth, and all of the moderators should be rounded up and hung, I believe, after going through trial. No vigilante justice. We don't believe in that. All right, now let me round it up here. Let's get back to what I was talking about. Let's get back to the anti-natalists. Let's get back to the DINKs. I am a very data-based person, and I know a lot of you that listen to this show are. I'm a very data-based person. Facts, results, and numbers are what sway me, not emotional arguments. 9 times out of 10. That's what sways me when we talk about these types of things. So when we talk about the double income, no kids, when we talk about the people that hate children, I'm going to give you guys a quick rundown of some numbers that have been run in various studies. We've got, let's see, Institute for Family Studies. We've got the, what else do we have here? What's the, Rhode Island Violent Death Reporting System. We'll link you guys all in the description. I didn't pull these numbers out of my ass. These are all legitimate studies that have been conducted and gone through the peer review process. Because I know that's important to liberals, right? So let's go over this. Divorce rates. Let's just talk divorce rates. It's about 35 to 50% in this country. The divorce rate, however, for a couple without children is 40% higher than those with them, which means If you're a married couple without children, your divorce rate ranges anywhere from 49% to 70%. Okay, there's that one. This is the Institute for Family Studies. They did an in-depth look on women who were happy in their marriages, right? Women and men. And they were both pretty comparable, but the women were a little bit more drastic on a few of these numbers. So we're going to talk about the women just in the effort to conserve time. So 30%, so between the ages of 18 and 34, 30% of women, 33% of women who were married without children said they were happy in life. 30% that were married with kids said they were happy in life. Now, we can talk about how there's issues with people not being happy. Obviously, it's concerning that only 30% of people can truly say they're happy in life, but regardless, we're not even going to talk about it. Now, the unmarried people with or without children, that number was even lower. Let's not talk about the budding mental health crisis in this country. We talk about that enough on this show. Here's what you got to realize. Happiness comes from internally. Happiness comes internally. If you can't make yourself happy, no one's going to make you happy. Not a romantic partner, not a child, nothing. You have to find that within yourself. So we have 33% of women, ages 18 to 34, married with no kids, saying they're happy in life, right? When you get to the age of 55, this is the same study. You know what that number goes down to? Mia, take a guess. Close.
15.
14. 14% of women report being happy while married without children. The number of women who are married with children, number stayed almost the same. Dropped a couple percentage points. And I mean, naturally, people are just going to, that happens, right? Now, numerous studies, I think Purdue University, and there's a couple others, have shown that when people are asked, or when people partake in surveys specifically pertaining to their personal lives, there's a 10 to 20% of them will lie, right? Sometimes it's a little bit more when they're talking about happiness. So let's say 20% of them lied. That brings you down to about 11%. 11% of women over the age of 55 that are married with no children say they're happy in life. That is a 66% decline in happiness over the course of 20 years. So while what you're doing might feel fun now, you got to think long term. And I know a lot of people don't want to think about that because it's fun when you're partying and you're doing all the crazy stuff. But to quote Shaggy, philosopher, Shaggy, the R&B singer, life is one big party when you're still young, but who's going to have your back when it's all done? You've never heard that song? Girl, you're my angel. You're my darling angel. You know that song. Closer than my peeps you are to me. Everybody knows that song. Played in every bowling alley across the country, right? In other words, if you are a married female without children, there is a 90% chance you will be unhappy with your life by the time you turn 55. And for a woman, I think this goes without saying, 55, you're at the point of no return. You can't change it. You can't change. Making that decision is something you can't go back on. Guys, we can pop them out till we die. I mean, look at Robert De Niro. That guy's 1 billion years old. He just had his 18th kid. So you're at the point of no return. Like I said, I'm a data guy. Now, let's consider the numbers we mentioned earlier. Your divorce rate as a childless couple is what? It's about it's 40% increase, right? 40% increase. So not only is there a 90% chance that you're unhappy at the age of 55, and there's still a lot of life left at 55. A lot of life left. In fact, they say if you're in your 20s now, there's a good chance you live to be 120 due to the advancements in modern medicine. You know, unless you die suddenly like so many people in their 20s have always done throughout history. Just heart attacks and brain aneurysms. So not only is there a 90% chance that you're unhappy with your life, there is a 70% chance that at some point you're going to be unhappy alone. Now let's throw one more statistic in there. This is from the Rhode Island Violent Death Reporting System. The likelihood for women, and remember, we're talking about women. Men are somewhat comparable. Remember, men also have a much higher suicide rate. The likelihood of women committing suicide jumps nearly 40% once they turn 55. So 40% increase. Now, when you consider that, along with the fact that there's a 90% chance you hate your life or you don't like your life, and a 50 to 70% chance that not only do you not have any children, you also don't have a partner anymore. And that's not including people that pass away or whatever, right? You don't have a partner anymore. That is a grim outlook for the people that we just showed in these videos. Unhappy, alone, suicidal. Not a good combination. You mix that in with the fact that alcohol abuse over the last 4 years, 3 years, 3.5 years, has increased 500%. You combine that with the fact that these numbers are a couple years old in terms of suicide and happiness. We're seeing more people than ever being treated for depression, for anxiety, for mental illness, being put on drugs, dealing with substance abuse. That is not a good outlook. I'm not telling people that if you're unhappy in life, have a kid because that'll fix all your problems. It won't. You got to fix that stuff internally. All I'm saying is when you look at the data, you are much more likely to not hate your life and not be alone if you have a couple kids, or at least one kid, right? If you're listening to this and I haven't persuaded you and you're like, you know what, Caleb, I've got the mental fortitude and the strength. I'm in the 10%. I'm in the 10% that can deal with it alone. Or I'm in the 10% that is not going to hate their life. It's not going to spend the last, 60, 70 years of their life miserable and alone. By all means. By all means. Do your thing. Go off. Gamble. That's a big gamble, though. It's a big gamble. So do what you want. It's not up to me. You live your life. Now, if you're listening to this and you're one of the leftists that hate listening to this, disregard everything I just said. I don't think you should reproduce. You should not have kids. You deserve to be unhappy. Because I hate you. That's what we want. See, I am the nicest guy on the air. Right, Mia? The nicest guy on the air. That's me. That's me. I don't know. I find those videos have been going viral on Twitter with people reacting to them, and some people are, of course, over the top about it. It bothers me. When you think about it, throughout history, people of every race, every religion, everywhere in the world, from European knights to folks in Africa to Asian empires, Native Americans, South Americans, all over the world, people have fought and died to extend their bloodline. And you're going to end yours over a $6 latte from Starbucks that's not even that good. Puts it into perspective. Again, if you think you're in the 10%, go off. But there's one thing I like to do, it's gamble. And I don't bet on 10% odds very often. Not very often. And if I bet on something with 10% odds, probably not spending a lot of money. Living your life alone, miserable, suicidal, abusing substances. It's a pretty big gamble. So consider it. Do what you will with it. And make sure you buy from the sponsors. You head on over to tactilian.com. Do you like how we do that? This serious diatribe. I'm trying to speak to people and really get inside their heads and make them see things from a different perspective. And we're going to turn it into a sales pitch. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, be sure to click the link in the description to get the full episode on Rumble. If you prefer to listen along, you could actually get us on Spotify, Spreaker, and iHeartRadio. You can also go to www.outlawstreamers.com to learn more about not just my show, but tons of other great shows and all the exciting projects they have coming up. Follow my socials at Caleb Isn't Funny on Twitter and Instagram, at Caleb Salvatore Comedy on the Chinese Spy app that is TikTok, and be sure to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thanks, and we'll see you every Saturday for brand new episodes of That's Based. Peace.